What's up, guys? It's Simon. So, today I wanted to talk to you about the supermoon that's happening tonight and what I'm doing to celebrate. And it's not really a ritual or a spell or, a spell bottle or anything like that. It's just a little simple observance. It's kind of more like a mindfulness task. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it, probably more the older generation, because I don't think many people of my generation have done this. But it's kind of like a spiritual, magical concept of the time capsule. There we go. And so I planned on doing this video much earlier, so that way you guys would have time to watch it and do it yourself if you wanted to. But that just didn't happen. So this time capsule is going to be made today on the supermoon. I've been working on it pretty much all day since this morning, and basically, in another hour or two, I'll have it finished, and I'll do the final sealing by just completely putting the top on it, and just kind of let it get enchanted by the supermoon for a little bit. And then I'm gonna put it in like my memory container, excuse me, which eventually I want to buy a foot locker so that way I can put all my memoirs, all my memorabilia in there and keep it much more safe. And 17 years later, oh honey, you're gonna fall. On November 25th, 2034, I'll be what? 17 years from now, I'm almost 22, so I'm 21. That means I'll be almost 39. Wow. Interesting flash forward. But on that day, I will open it and I'll see what I can remember of it. I'm gonna write a little, well, I'll show you in a minute. I'm gonna write a little note to myself. I'm not sure what it's gonna be yet, but yeah, so let me show you guys. So this is my time capsule. I'm pretty sure I've showed you this before, but this was actually a candle, and I got all the wax out and cleaned it, and it just really looked like a great shape to do this with. And this originally had my orange peel gratitude bowls in there. Really sturdy. Good stuff. I might, if I haven't already, I might talk about that in another video later on down the road. But yeah, so if you see, it says Supermoon time capsule, and I have this space here because I found this really nice image that I want to glue on here and do like a Mod Podge coating over the image so that way it keeps it safe. And I have the year on the bottom. I don't want to tip it over too much, but the year is under there, and I have a bunch of cool stuff in there. I have a lot of stuff representing where I'm living right now. I have stuff representing the season, being autumn. I have some things representing, I have something representing all the animals. Most of them are going to be dead at that point. I have a few things, like one thing representing a few personal friends of mine that, when I say personal, I mean like in person, in my life physically right now, not on social media. I have a couple of papers, one that's talking about me going through counseling and my counselor. I have another one called YouTube, so I can remember all you guys, subscribers and friends alike. And I have another one. Oh, there it is. Oh, you can't see it. There you go. And what's that one? That one's the Etsy shop, because even though I'm not doing it right this minute, it's where my headspace is at, and it's what I'm going to be doing in the future. So this is all like where my life is right now. So right now my life is in the house that I'm in. Um, I have a representation of my mother as well. So because she's still in my life. So I'm only being mindful and incorporating things that are present in my life now, um, in as physical a sense as I can. I have a representation of my sacred tree, of Grandfather Poplar. I have a couple things representing the Fae. Also, it represents a tree that's in my life right now in my backyard, besides the magnolia that. And the reason why I put those in there is because those trees have never been in my life before. This is my first experience in this lifetime dealing with a magnolia tree and the yellow yew tree. So I wanted to put that in here. I have a couple of spell bottles, or rather charm bottles. This one has, hold on. This one has a couple pieces of American Black Nightshade root, and the other one has a representation of a friend of mine. I have a piece of birch bark in here, because that was wild harvested from the lake slash park in the neighborhood, in the neighboring city, well, town, actually. I have this cone incense representing the supermoon, with it being a full moon. I have a black walnut because that's within the area. I'm thinking about putting a burr, like a witch's burr in here too, because that's within the neighborhood and wild harvested. Ginger root piece. Oh, you can't see it. Ginger root piece for my path on wellness. I don't know if you can see it, but that long thing there is the corn husk, because I live in a place that grows a lot of corn. In fact, just a couple streets down. Well, this year they didn't have corn, but the year before they were growing corn, and I believe that was wild harvested from that. It's possible that it was harvested from the corn cobs that we bought from the store, but I'm pretty sure it was wild harvested. Trying to remember what else is in here. Got a lot of stuff. Like I said, I'm thinking about adding the witch's burr. There was something else I wanted. Oh, well, I have a unikite chip in here. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I don't think you can see it anymore. But there's a unikite chip in here, and that is something that I just recently thought of today. I actually have a piece on my altar, right, where'd it go? Okay, well, right there, that's a pretty big piece of a chip of unikite, which is my crystal for this year that I'm working on, and it just has the energies that I feel I need to work on for this year. Balance, past life work, and in this case, the past life work doesn't necessarily only mean in regards to like completely different lifestyles and like it normally means. It kind of also means in a more mundane sense, um, the way I was living in the past in regards to this life. So that's kind of how I'm addressing it both ways. I'm trying to remember. I know that there was stuff about bringing about balance. Um, there we go. About protection, staying earthed or grounded, dispelling negativity, which is very important. I'm trying to facilitate rebirth, um, bringing to light and integrating insight from the past, and releasing conditions that inhibit spiritual and slash psychological growth. That was the pinnacle expression that I really got me to decide to use Unikite this year. And I kind of wish that I had a piece that was big enough to hold. So when I get some money from my first reading that I do, I'm probably gonna go to the local shop that I bought my carnelian from and buy one of the pieces of unakite she has there so I can meditate with it and keep it on my person as a means of reflection. And so that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I don't know how well this is going to stay on there because already some of the words are getting rubbed off. But yeah, I really encourage you guys to do that. And I, of course, my practice is a very natural practice, so of course that's why I'm using glass. Um, and I wanted it to be a little more special than just a mason jar, so that's why I used this. And it kind of just makes you think of a time capsule with the lid and everything. But use what you have. If you have only a mason jar, um, then put a mason jar in it. I mean, use a mason jar. If you only have a small baby food jar, maybe you'll have to, not put as many pieces in there. Or maybe instead of putting a whole leaf, just break a piece of the leaf. Or maybe you can just write a bunch of little papers and put that in there. And you can still fit crystal chips in your baby food jar. So, just make it your own and have fun with it. And then on November 25th, 2034, I'm gonna open up my time capsule, review all this stuff again, and I'm gonna read my message. I meant to share with this earlier. This was my grandmother's, and it had lead in it. Like, not real lead, because obviously that's poisonous. But, so it had the mechanical pencil carbon pieces, those long, thin pieces you write with. It it held a lot of that, and I used it up and I saved this, and now it's like a little message bottle. So I'm gonna write a little message to myself, and then on that day, I'm gonna open it and read it, um, and just relive this day and moment 17 years from now. So, as always, thank you for watching, and blessed be my dear witchlings.